Ezra Miller was born September 30th, 1992 in Inglewood, New Jersey, making them a Libra sun. Libras usually like balance and peace, but can also be known to be very indecisive and flaky. Libras also carry the shadow side of believing that they're the only one responsible for carrying out justice, which can be chaotic if the person's moral compass is skewed. Ezra has their sun in the 6th house of routine and work, meaning their whole being can rely on their daily activity. They can also be prone to injury. They might feel as though they can fix other people. Their sun is sextiling their moon in the 8th house. Sun sextiling moon gives Ezra ego boost as their emotions are in line with their action. They usually act on situations and fully believe they're right, regardless of the consequences. Their moon is in the 8th house, making them very secretive, but their moon is in Sagittarius, the sign of morality, high standards, travel, and adventure, which is kind of at odds with their 8th house placement, which likes solitude. So I believe they spend a lot of time going inward for their learning, which may not be as peaceful as it sounds. They may go into drug binges since their moon is in the 8th house of drugs, sex, death, and secrets, and the moon rules the feelings. They may have a very turbulent relationship with drugs. Also, their mother could have been absent from their life physically or emotionally, and they probably have a weird relationship with her. They may have detached from reality in a lot of ways and makes up situations in their head. They themselves believe these situations. Since Jupiter rules Sagittarius, there is a never-ending well of thoughts and feelings that end up forming in their opinions, which they feel very righteous in. Their sun is also trining their Saturn right on the 11th house cusp. So Saturn in the 11th house has a lot of run-ins with the law and authority, as 11th house is the house of large groups and humanity, and Saturn is all about boundaries and structure. So their run-ins with authority figures are usually very public. We can see from their general lack of boundaries and harassment of fans. Their sun is squaring Mars and Uranus, making them a loose cannon, and with that Mars in Cancer, they have a lot of anger inside. Their emotions can change very easily. They can be very erratic and volatile due to the unease that plagues them. Sagittarius moons hold on to their beliefs for dear life, and Mars in Cancer will bulldoze over anyone or anything that tries to stand in their way or sway their beliefs. Their moon is sextiling Saturn, which I may not have said before. Sun trine to Saturn and moon sextile Saturn can give the person a god complex, as if they're the only authority they have to listen to, or holier than thou. They're fighting against their love of freedom and their longing for security at the same time. This can make them scared deep inside, like they're losing the grasp of reality on a daily basis. Ezra has their Mercury in Libra, squaring their midheaven, Neptune, and Uranus. When Mercury squares any planet, we can sometimes find illusion around that planet it's squaring, and Mercury squaring Neptune gives the person delusions and can even give psychosis as the people live in their own heads. The Sag moon plays into these delusions of grandeur. Again, a god complex, feeling as if they can do no wrong, but when it's squaring their midheaven, it's also getting in the way of their career. Their thoughts are on display for the world to see. They play out in every action, and they could be very deceptive throughout life, and their moon in the 8th house echoes this. Now, their Mercury is also trining Saturn, and with all these positive aspects to Saturn, I can comfortably assume that they have some connections with authority figures that might be getting them out of these bad situations they find themselves in. That also might be the reason they feel so entitled. This can be seen in their sun in the 8th house as well. 8th house is the house of help from others, financially and otherwise. So let's get into their Mars placement. So we know they have a Cancer Mars. Mars is in the 3rd house. 3rd house is short travel, studies, and communication. I look at this house as basic learning materials that we take with us through life. 9th house, which is opposite from 3rd house, can be higher learning, but 3rd house is basic learning. So Mars in the 3rd house can make you unfiltered in speech, very direct, and with Cancer there, they can speak without thinking too much. They're not rational when it comes to their emotions. They just say whatever they want. They may have a very nervous energy that they learned in childhood. They may have had siblings that they had a hard time dealing with. They may have been abusive to them or were abused by them. Maybe their mother played favorites with her kids, and I know that they have 2 other siblings. I think they're both sisters, but I could be wrong. This can also give Ezra a very colorful vocabulary and a few favorite curse words that they might like to use. I will say Sagittarius moons are also known for their cursing, but I watched a few interviews and videos. They definitely have a very extensive vocabulary. They're quite knowledgeable. Their Venus is trining their Mars. Their Venus is in Scorpio, and it's in the 7th house of relationship. I think that they may may be abusive to women that they choose to be in a relationship with. And I say women because Venus represents the feminine. So anyone who exerts feminine energy, they could be abusive to. Mars trine Venus is very sexual in nature. Mars brings a lot of energy to the relationships, and Cancer and Mars brings a lot of unresolved problems. Venus in Scorpio is also very, very possessive, and they may want ownership over the person they love. Well, the person they're with, because that's not love. They are obsessed with their lover and they want control over them. Mars opposite their Uranus, and Neptune makes them a thrill seeker and a risk taker. Even though they may be doing these things for attention, it also makes up for their low self-esteem by overcompensating and coming off unnaturally confident. Their Venus is in Scorpio, and it's opposite their ascendant in Taurus. So they may expect their lover to be perfect or strive for perfection themselves. Although with the other aspects in their chart, I have a hard time believing they don't already think that they're perfect. They may have been bullied for their looks or how they present themselves. They continue to get bullied for it. A general blindness of how they act in relation to others is present. Their ascendant in Taurus makes them visually appealing and very fashionable, as we know. Ezra Miller is aesthetically pleasing. It's their personality that makes them problematic. They're actually very good looking. They just got a lot to learn in life. Their Venus is squaring Saturn, making them even more controlling over partners. This is also a big reason why they may be drawn to people they can mold and groom. They have felt this endless sense of rejection and isolation throughout their life, and they feel as though they have to control every little thing about their life, and that includes the people around them. They've experienced a lot of roadblocks in relationships. They've likely felt the unforgiving burn of unrequited love once or twice in their life. And their Mars in Cancer won't let them forget the pain that they've gone through. They may have become predatory when it comes to love, making them more in control of their lover, and in turn more in control of their emotions. So I really think that Ezra is stuck in a delusional childlike fantasy of how the world truly works. I don't think they've had much parenting at home. Their parents either gave them everything they wanted or weren't around at all, so they had to learn how to manipulate for what they want. They're not stupid. They can be very smart and imaginative, but I believe they're using these traits for the wrong reason. They're spoiled and entitled. And what's even worse is if they were using all this power they have in their chart for good, they could be an excellent helper to humanity. They could be a healer with their words, and their eye for aesthetics and beauty could be used in a number of different facets of life. Well, anyway, I know this video was short, but I kind of feel a little icky talking about him for too long. I know it's my job, but this guy kind of gives me the creeps. He needs therapy, but I'm sure he would believe he knew more than the therapist anyway. So if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Let me know if you have any celebrity charts you would like me to analyze in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next reading.